He's a genius. I just can't say enough about that man. I love him, and he's a nice man, but beyond that, he's a brilliant mind. Mm-hmm. He's a genius.
He doesn't talk much. He doesn't need to. Sam Elliott lets silence do the heavy lifting. 5 decades in, the mustache is legend, but the code is louder. Show up, tell the truth, and leave no wasted breath. So when he names his 6 favorite actors, it isn't fan service. It's a map to presence, to stillness, to the kind of screen power you can't fake. Lean in, because this list isn't loud. It's carved in stone. Some actors step into a role. Gary Cooper embodied it. Sam Elliott didn't just admire him, he studied him. As a boy watching High Noon under that blistering midday sun, Sam saw something different. Cooper wasn't acting like a man under pressure. He was one. Shoulders heavy, eyes locked forward, silent, but carrying an entire town's fate. That was the first lesson. Strength isn't noise. Strength is restraint. Cooper didn't need grand speeches. He had let silence drag the audience closer, made every pause heavier than dialogue. Sam once said the performance taught him how to listen. That idea became his compass. He realized the loudest man in the room isn't always the one who wins it. It's the one who refuses to waste a word. Decades later, critics call Sam Elliott the rock of any cast. That gravel voice, the measured pace, the sense he could outweight anyone in the room. That DNA? Pure Gary Cooper. Because Cooper never chased applause. He never begged for approval. He carried his weight with a kind of honesty that left no space for gimmicks. Even in lighter roles, Cooper had a code. Integrity before flash, truth before theatrics. Sam carried that code like armor. He never played cool, he played true. And here's the part most people miss. Cooper didn't just shape Sam's acting, he shaped his philosophy. To endure in Hollywood, you don't need to shout, you need to mean it. Cooper proved it. Sam inherited it. But the next actor on Elliott's list, he didn't just command silence. He bent time itself to his will. Some actors change with the times. Clint Eastwood outlasted them. Sam Elliott has never hidden his respect. He sees Eastwood as a living benchmark, not just for westerns, but for what it means to grow old in this industry without losing an ounce of edge. Eastwood didn't reinvent himself. He just kept going until the world had no choice but to catch up. From the good, the bad, and the ugly to Unforgiven, his presence was undeniable. He didn't storm into scenes. He claimed them, calm, steady, almost daring you to look away. What Elliott admired most wasn't the grit, the guns, or even the iconic glare. It was the stillness. Clint mastered the space between words. He proved that silence, when owned by the right man, can be louder than gunfire. Sam once said that Eastwood never played characters desperate to be liked. He played men who already knew who they were. That confidence, unyielding, unapologetic, became the standard Sam measured himself against. Neither man had a famous last name to open doors. Both came from the dirt, built their careers brick by brick, and earned respect through patience, not privilege. That shared code made Elliott feel like he and Eastwood were cut from the same cloth. Because if Gary Cooper taught Sam how to listen, Clint Eastwood taught him how to endure. A reminder that true presence doesn't fade. It sharpens with age. But Sam's list isn't just about cowboys and gunslingers. The next name, a woman who flipped Hollywood's balance of power without ever raising her voice. Not many people expect this name on Sam Elliott's list, but that's exactly why it belongs. Katharine Hepburn didn't wait for respect. She took it. In a Hollywood that demanded women play second fiddle, Hepburn refused. She walked into rooms with Spencer Tracy, Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant, and never once played smaller. She was equal. Sometimes she was greater. Sam Elliott, a man defined by quiet strength, saw something rare in her, a presence sharper than any man's in the room. He once said the best actors are the ones who waste nothing. No word, no gesture, no silence. And Hepburn wasted nothing. Watch her and guess who's coming to dinner. She doesn't shout, doesn't overplay, just one look, chin raised, eyes cutting like steel, and the entire scene shifts. That was her weapon. Control, precision, authority disguised in elegance. Elliott called her toughness in soft packaging. That's what struck him. She didn't need a revolver or a cowboy hat to command the screen. She did it in slacks, in sharp words, in the way she simply refused to shrink. And if you look closely, Sam's career carries her ghost. The pauses, the restraint, the refusal to bow to flash or gimmick. Hepburn's code is in him. Show up, speak only when it matters, let the work echo. She torched trails for others to follow, and Sam Elliott didn't try to chase her shadow. He walked his own road, but always in the same direction. And the next name? He's the only one Sam calls a true phantom. A man who disappears so deeply into his roles, you forget he ever existed outside of them. Sam Elliott doesn't hand out the word genius. But when it comes to Daniel Day-Lewis, even he gets quiet. Day-Lewis doesn't just act, he vanishes. One moment, he's a crippled poet in My Left Foot. The next, he's a ruthless oil man in There Will Be Blood. By the time the credits roll, you're not watching an actor, you're staring at a storm that swallowed the man whole. Sam respects that, because it's the same code he's lived by. Truth over tricks. No winks to the audience, no begging for applause, just full immersion until the line between man and role disappears. When Elliott saw The Last of the Mohicans, he said he couldn't believe a London-born actor could convince him he'd been raised in the wilderness. But he did. Every glance, every breath carried weight. That's what Sam calls presence. The kind that doesn't float on the surface. It sinks into your bones. He once described watching There Will Be Blood as witnessing a slow-moving storm roll in. You can't stop it. You can't interrupt it. You just sit there, helpless, as it consumes the horizon. That's Day-Lewis. And maybe that's why Sam respects him so deeply. In a business obsessed with cameras, fame, and constant noise, Daniel Day-Lewis disappears between projects. No endless tours, no need for attention. He shows up, burns the screen alive, then slips back into silence. Elliott sees him as proof that stillness can be terrifying. That truth doesn't need to shout, and for a man like Sam, that's the highest compliment you can give. But the next name on his list isn't a phantom. He was flesh, blood, and weather itself, an actor who could break your heart with nothing but silence. This one wasn't admiration from afar, it was personal. Sam Elliott didn't just respect Sam Shepard, he felt him. Shepard wasn't only an actor, he was a poet, a playwright, a man who understood the weight of human failure better than most therapists. On screen, he didn't fill silences, he let them breathe. And Elliott, who built his career on quiet gravity, recognized himself in that rhythm. They worked together on The High-Low Country, a film most people forgot. But the men inside it never did. Elliott once said that stepping onto set with Shepard felt like entering weather you couldn't control. You didn't act beside him, you sat in his storm. Shepard's power wasn't in volume, it was in presence. He carried truth in his pauses, heartbreak in the way he let words linger just a second too long. For Sam, that restraint wasn't just acting, it was honesty. Off camera, Shepard was the same. He didn't dominate rooms, didn't chase spotlights. But when he spoke, the world stopped moving. Elliott respected that more than any headline or award. Because sometimes, silence tells the story louder than dialogue ever could. When Shepard passed in 2017, Elliott didn't give a long eulogy. He simply called him irreplaceable. That one word said it all. Because when you lose someone who shares your code, the pauses, the truth, the suspicion of ego, you don't replace them, you just carry their shadow. And Sam does. Every time he holds a pause, every time he lets silence crack open a scene, you can feel Shepard's ghost in the room. But the final name on Elliott's list isn't a ghost. It's a living bond, a fellow legend who turned gravel voices and easy timing into pure cinematic harmony. Some actors clash. Jeff Bridges clicked. For Sam Elliott, working with Bridges wasn't just collaboration, it was confirmation. The Big Lebowski proved it. 2 gravel voices, 2 weathered faces, 2 men with nothing left to prove. Together, they didn't act their scenes. They lived them. Elliott once said, Bridges never chased the spotlight. He settled into it. Loose, free, never predictable, not sloppy, just alive. He showed up with a full tank, but never announced how far he'd drive. And that spontaneity, Sam thrived in it. Their rhythm flowed like jazz. Bridges set the beat, Elliott followed, and suddenly, the silence between them became as powerful as the dialogue itself. In one bar counter exchange in Lebowski, half the magic wasn't in the words, it was in the pauses. Jeff respected silence. Sam mirrored it. 2 veterans playing off each other with zero ego. Elliott even admitted that Bridges is one of the only actors who's made him laugh, cry, and rethink a line, all in the same scene. That's not chemistry, that's kinship. And beyond the cameras, the bond never changed. No drama, no headlines. Just two men cut from the same stone, quiet, grounded, unwilling to play Hollywood circus. When Sam hears Jeff's name, he doesn't just smile. He remembers what acting should feel like. Easy, honest, human. Bridges brought that ease. Elliott carried it forward. Because in the end, the actors Sam Elliott respects most don't need to be loud. They don't need to demand attention. They just show up and let truth do the rest. 6 names. 6 legends. And through them, you can trace the very soul of Sam Elliott. Gary Cooper taught him restraint. Clint Eastwood showed him endurance. Katharine Hepburn proved strength doesn't need permission. Daniel Day-Lewis reminded him of the sacred weight of truth. Sam Shepard gave him silence that spoke louder than words. And Jeff Bridges, he gave him ease, the rare gift of pure chemistry. Together, they form a map. Not of Hollywood's noise, but of its backbone, the quiet power that endures when the lights fade. Elliott never chased stardom. He chased presence. And every name on this list reflects the same code. Honesty before vanity, rhythm before ego, stillness before noise. That's why his list matters. Because in a business obsessed with applause, Sam Elliott has spent a lifetime proving you don't need to be loud to leave a mark. You just need to mean it. So here's the question for you. Which actor do you think Sam Elliott would add if he had to name a 7th? Drop your guess below. And if you want more stories that cut through the noise and reveal the truth behind Hollywood's legends, hit subscribe and stay tuned. Because sometimes, the quietest stories are the ones that echo forever.